Whether you're joining a Product Marketing Alliance event for the first time, or if you're a seasoned regular, welcome to the second edition of the Customer Marketing Summit. Before we dive into the day's content, we just want to say a huge thank you to our sponsors, partners, speakers, and you, our lovely audience. From wherever you are watching in the world, we're sure you'll enjoy the sessions from our incredible lineup. With expert presentations, specialist talks, and deep dive panel sessions on the agenda, you are in for a real treat today. To get the most out of these sessions, please ensure you are sharing your feedback and asking all your questions in the comments section, and our speakers will be answering them throughout the day. After the event, a great place to continue the conversation is in the customer marketing channel in the PMA Slack community. If you aren't already a member, hop on over and come and join the discussion. And if that's still not enough, then why not become a PMA Pro member and benefit from unlimited access to exclusive templates, frameworks, and our entire library of videos and slide decks from all our events. So with all that to come, let's dive right into the next session.
Welcome, folks, online and joining us or listening to us. Today we have Trisha Diamond from Fiverr. The summit is all about customer marketing. Other chats in the summit will go into the definitions of customer marketing and all. Today, we're going to explore the unique way Fiverr has structured its group for success. I'm Sai Chavali, product marketing at Proofpoint, one of the largest cybersecurity vendors out there. And today we're going to talk about how Fiverr's unique model has helped their company for growth. And so Trisha, Director of Customer Success at Fiverr, has built and nurtured a unique model of customer marketing from 2015 to now. So let's learn more from her directly. Trisha, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, Sai, thank you. I think you introduced me perfectly, but my name's Trisha Diamond. I'm from Fiverr. Fiverr is an online marketplace. What we do is we connect businesses with freelancers that offer digital services. And we're running this in about 400 categories. So it's a huge variety of business that happens on our platform.
I love it. Okay, so let's dive right in. You'll call this group customer success, but it's different from traditional account management, support, and marketing. So tell us more.
Yeah, so in one part, we had to be different because we're a unique environment. You know, you hear customer success a lot with SaaS companies. And as I said, we're a marketplace. And what our customer success managers do is we're here to help ensure the success of both the freelancers that use Fiverr to earn and also the businesses that are leveraging the platform to purchase services. Basically, we want to help them get the most out of it. When I need to explain it very fast, I usually say that we're acting as consultants for people that use Fiverr.
Nice. So can we just double click into what's unique there? In this space?
So we're far from customer service. Like, we don't answer tickets, or when you think account management, you think managing like a large portfolio of revenue and things like that. But we're really more focused on the experience, or kind of like experience managers, although I should not be inventing a new industry while we chat today. But really, our purpose is to ensure that both sides of the marketplace operate effectively. It's an automatic platform. Buyers and sellers can find each other without us, but we step in to really make sure that everyone is happy and gets the most out of it.
So you mentioned how it's unique in using some personalization. Can you tell us how it's different from and what parts of customer marketing are involved in customer service then?
Yeah, so I guess when you think about customer marketing, a lot of things might come to mind, whether it's retention emails, in-app pop-ups, social media, dozens and dozens of formats. And all of this, we do this with the goal of educating our customers and then rewarding them for doing the things that we want them to do. But we use the human touch and we take this whole funnel and we put it into one place. Our success managers, They actually take the time to speak to each customer, to help them through like any aspect of their journey. And like if they're selling, for example, instead of sending marketing emails that explain how to sell better or faster or more, like we're actually sitting down with them, optimizing their profile, looking at how they work with customers with them, and really educating them in a personal way to do this better.
I love it. So, when we were talking offline around this, the way I had understood it, and it was naive in my understanding, was it's an addition of customer marketing plus upsells. But what you'll in our discussions, what's changed is y'all are really helping those freelancers throughout the process just build a better business. In that you're impacted and Fiverr's healthier.
Right. Yeah. There's not much of a traditional upsell model. Basically, the more that our freelancers or our business buyers are using the platform, the more successful we are as a business. So basically, we help them engage and use it better and use it more efficiently. So we're not even having to upsell. We're just helping people, and it helps the business as well.
Yeah. And I think that breaks my very B2B structured world. So that's very unique. Now, we talked about how you do it. How's the team structured to deliver on this promise?
Yeah. So we're structured with like a few considerations in mind. First is like the type of customer. A success manager that works with the freelancer is different than one that works with a small business, or a large business might see a different success manager. From there, of course, we're considering location. We'll even look at verticals, like someone who specializes in graphic and design versus programming and tech, as an example. But most importantly, like we involve the customer in that decision. Like we make sure they're there with us and that we have a personality match, because this is about relationships.
Nice. So we've talked a bit about the structure and the goals. I want some stories. So how did this all begin? What was the inspiration of this? Why was it so important to Fiverr?
So first, Fiverr is really all about its community. Like we are truly a customer-centric organization, and we wanted to know more about our customers. So in 2015, we formed this department. Where did we start? We decided almost just randomly. That's not fair. It's not random, but like we had a lot of areas of opportunity. So we picked one, and that was with our top-rated freelancers on the marketplace. So of course, first we were taking inspiration from SaaS companies. Of course, Salesforce is a common name that's there. Like they're big in this industry. But I was also really looking at companies like eBay. Like how did they support the growth of the people that sold on their marketplace, or Etsy, or looking at other marketplaces. Even though Fiverr is unique in that it's digital services, we were able to learn a lot from these physical good companies. Because in the end, because we're a unique organization, we kind of had to innovate, like the traditional principles that you hear about in customer success or account management. Going back to what we mentioned before, we had to flex the rules a little bit and find out what worked for us.
I love it. So we're getting into a bit more of the stories. I'm going to push you further. Let's try and crystallize this with how you do it for the listeners out there. Let's start with a model applying some of the customer marketing framework, but understanding what's unique and what's changed for y'all. Let's start with just identifying your sweet spot or ideal customers. How do you do that? How does this whole process begin?
Yeah. So we work very closely with our data teams, and we've definitely evolved this over the years. We're never done. We're always learning from ourselves, but we've developed some algorithms in a way that look at customers' patterns and really helps us detect like who is high potential, who might be very engaged. Even if they're very new to the platform, we're looking at patterns to understand like who we should connect with. But like, it's not just data. Like we actually ask them, like we can see high potential customers and we can reach out, but if they're not really interested in connecting with us, it doesn't mean anything. This relationship-based model only works if we're connected with each other and if the customer's engaged in the process.
Something you mentioned there that kind of made me just think about it a bit more is the collaboration that this brings. What are the teams that you're collaborating with um, through this process? Who are the teams
Internally?
yeah, internally? You
Oh.
mentioned data analytics or the data science teams, but it seems like this takes a kind of a village to really make well.
Definitely. And I would say that customer success at Fiverr, we're connected with everybody. I mean, no big surprise because we're talking now about marketing, but also product and goodness, I can't think actually of a department that we're not connected with because we're also not only are they helping us like build this unit, but we're bringing back information to Fiverr about like what do our customers need, what are their pain points even, what can we do, what marketing resonates with them, everything. Like it is a village and it has two-way traffic.
No, I'm very interested in this model because as a product marketer, I would see the customer success team as providing very, very valuable intelligence in terms of what's happening. What are people actually adopting?
Yeah.
And so that's very interesting to me.
Yeah.
So moving from identifying your sweet spot, let's move to awareness, or what we would think of as kind of marketing. How do you make them aware of what Fiverr has to offer, how Fiverr can help them grow their own businesses and solve their problems better?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're so closely connected with our customers. We're speaking with them regularly. Like we really, really know them. And like we know their strengths, we know or their weaknesses or what they're less comfortable with. And when new features or tools or promotions or anything becomes available, of course, we want the entire portfolio of people we work with to know. Like we want everybody to be available for every opportunity. But we're also able to take that knowledge that we have and really concentrate our efforts like into a certain area that this is, I know businesses that are really looking to collaborate in an order in a very specific way. And as we enhance that, I can go right to those people, spend the time, demo it for them, and those that we don't know need as much, like, of course, we'll do traditional emails and things like that, but we come in to really make it clear, answer the questions, and then bring back to our teams internally what was working for them and what was not so intuitive.
Right. And I guess from there, you make them aware, you help them, you work with them very closely. There's a big portion of customer marketing that's around advocacy.
Yeah.
How do you gain Fiverr advocates, and how do you even keep in touch with them after you've helped them and grown their business and they can kind of move on?
Yeah, so advocacy is actually my favorite part. It's where I feel that we're stronger than anywhere else. It's because I think that human touch is natural to bring customers closer to your brand. Like, if you think about it, if you know Fiverr or like a certain chain of stores, whatever that is, that's great. You know the name, that's an important first step. But if you know the brand and then you can connect your association with that brand with a face, with a voice, with a personality and a relationship that you have, it becomes so much stronger because it's not just like Fiverr. It's like, it's Fiverr, but there's also Brandon, and Brandon takes care of me and understands what I'm going through, like in my business. And to keep it going, honestly, our CSMs, we're in constant communication with our customers. Of course, a lot of it's via email, but we are on video calls all day, just like you and I are, Sai. Like, this is what we do with our customers. We're a global company, so we can't meet a lot of people face to face, but oh, believe me, I'm located in Orlando, lots of tourism, and as soon as somebody's coming to Disney World, we're inviting them into the office with us.
That's so interesting. The global portion, I actually wanted to understand a bit more around
Yeah.
that, which is, did you find any differences or surprising similarities between the customer success initiatives in various parts of the world? Is it different by culture? Any unique things that you all had to kind of really observe depending on the geography?
Oh, that's a great question. So, for sure, there's definitely cultural differences, but I think what was most surprising to me is that, like, in the end, we're all humans and we're all looking to create a connection and we're looking to work with somebody who understands us and our journey. And the cultural barrier almost doesn't feel like it's there most of the time. I know that might sound like hyperbole, but really, like, we're all kind of in this world together. So, and it really shows when I can connect with someone anywhere in the world, and very quickly we can understand each other because we share Fiverr as a common thread.
I love it. That really speaks to the strength of the work that y'all are doing, which is many times the problems, whether in the US or in another part of the world, are going to be the same, even if they're using different languages to conduct their business.
Yeah.
So I guess if we are trying to understand a bit more, and I want to kind of push us in terms of some of the stories that you might have in this, whether you're comfortable sharing any of the kind of customer stories that have gone through this journey with y'all.
Yeah. I mean, buckle in. I've got about 8 hours of content here if you're ready for it. It's so hard to choose one, so I'm going to go with just the first one that popped into my mind. And it started early, and this is somebody that I still work with after 6 years. They work in writing and translation on Fiverr. This was sort of like a part-time, like, side hustle for them. They had their full-time job, but a little extra money on the side, but very, like, great. Most of of course, all of our freelancers are great quality, but I really recognize something special in this person. And, slowly over time, we sort of looked at, like, what they were doing on the platform, what tools we could help them leverage, because they had to balance between their full-time work and this sort of night job, if you will. And as we looked at the different tools and how they could leverage them, and then we optimized both their offerings on the marketplace and how they communicated and how they did their own, like, upsells and retention to their customers, it grew over time from being just a small, like, few $100s a month to $15,000 or so every single month. And of course, that is amazing for the freelancer, that I'm speaking about. But it's also great for Fiverr's business. We have a seller who's very successful. We have that we can also give to our buyers, and we know that they'll have a perfect experience, if not better than perfect experience, working with. So it's great for Fiverr. It's great for everybody involved. And that's why we stuck with the name Customer Success, even though we sort of changed around the principles a little bit.
Yeah, that speaks to kind of internally also in your own growth, taking the feedback and learning. So let's finish up with what's the future state? What's the future looking like, and some tips for our listeners. So first of all, what sorts of organizations is this best for that you would recommend adopt such a model, or at least take some of your best practices?
Yeah. Honestly, I think any organization of any type can benefit from, like, this blend of course, our automated digital side and the human element that customer success brings to it. Of course, the way that we do it is perfect for two-sided marketplaces, because the company, Fiverr, we provide a platform for the connection, like any other marketplace. And having customer success, bringing somebody in that can sort of step in when the platform steps to the side to ensure that experience is a positive one, is perfect. With any business, if your customer comes and they have a bad experience, you're going to lose that customer for life. But with customer success, that buyer, that freelancer, that customer, they have the option of working with a real person to ensure that the experience is not only successful, but it's, like, more meaningful than it would be if they went somewhere else. But again, really, any business can benefit from being more personal with their customers.
Great. And pivoting to, for an organization looking to start on this journey, any tips or best practices, or some of the hard lessons that you're taking from any hard knocks?
Yeah. So, I mean, there are a ton of resources out there, like online articles, videos, TED Talks. There's great advice. But the one thing that I would say, if I could pick one thing, is that you should actually talk to your customers when you're forming this. This is so often overlooked. But I really want to encourage anyone thinking about doing this to get to know your customers. Maybe bring them in for roundtables, do some one-on-one interviews, and ask them what they need. Like, ask them what your company could do to make their experience more meaningful, more successful, and really help them feel connected with your brand and that your brand is there for them.
I love it. Actually, I did want to ask you, any hard knocks that you all took in this journey, building this group up? Anything that you learned from that, that you could speak of? Always useful, because nothing is just a path of roses.
Yeah. So absolutely, like we've been doing this for 6 years, and we've definitely learned some hard lessons along the way. And a lot of that sometimes is in how we engage with our customers. Sort of, we had the assumption that everybody wants to talk to us, so we're just going, you know what, like we'll invite them to Zoom meetings, we'll email them, and I'll just say, hey, I'm Trisha and I'm here for you, like when do you want to talk?
Yeah.
And this assumption many times, and even still sometimes today, kind of bites us on the behind. But it's really important to go through these steps and try different methods that work with different customers. This is something unique to Fiverr, but just to put it in context, we were emailing a lot of people to try to get a hold of them and had very low adoption and success rates there. But we have an inbox on the platform. So we decided, instead of trying to meet the customer in their inbox, we would meet them where they are, our own little version of an in-app pop-up, and we would send them a message on their inbox. And from there, we saw a lot more success. And working with them, and instead of asking them, when do you want to have a Zoom call, saying like, what's good for you? Like, how can I help you? And what's the best way for you to talk to me? And, we adopted all sorts of interesting methods with our customers for that. We even have shared Slack groups for some of our customers that they said, no, this is what works for me because I'm on Slack all day.
I love it. I think the emphasis on meeting the customer where they are and then making the ask, as well as the multiplicity of ways that you connect with somebody, because at some point in the day, this might make more sense. I might just be more available and not doing a job at that point.
Absolutely. Try and try again, and do not give up, because you will find the way.
I love it. I love it. So Trisha, I'd like to also check in with, when we're talking about collaborators, any tips for customer marketers when working with product teams, for example?
Yes. So one thing that is very important, we find, because in customer success, it's all qualitative data that we have because it's coming from speaking with the customers. What we do is we also partner with the data team once again, so they can kind of bring in the quantitative data, like who's using what features, how much are they using it, how quickly do they stop using it? And then we go to the customers and we ask them, like, hey, like, why aren't you using this? What's working? What's not working? And that way, when we come to the product team, we come with a really full story, and we're able to make a very strong case on behalf of our customers. And actually, by the way, I do want to mention that even though this is a very personalized relationship we're talking about, when we need to do things at scale, like ask specific questions about a specific feature, we're not afraid to use automation. It's okay to take these outreaches and make them automatic. It can still be personal, but do them en masse, and just have the human being ready on the other side when somebody's ready to reply for that.
I love the nuance there, and I'm sure the product team just loves having both the qualitative and the quantitative data at their fingertips to make decisions.
I hope so.
Very, very useful. Well, that's what we have time for. So I'd just like to end with thanking Trisha and Fiverr for spending time with us on unique models of customer marketing in fast-growing companies. So thank you, Trisha.
Sai, thank you. This was great. Are you sure we can't talk longer?